Conflict, suspense, and tension. What are they? I'm Karen Berry with Right Now Editing, where we turn good manuscripts into great books.
And I'm Pegg Thomas, multi-award winning author and editor, and we are two editors for 5 whole minutes. Start that timer, Karen.
All right. So, we wanted to talk about conflict, suspense, and tension because they are three
Aren't they
very
all the same thing, Karen?
a lot of people seem to think that they are, and they actually have just very nuanced differences.
Could we call
But
them kissing cousins?
sure, we could
Okay,
call
they're
them that.
kissing cousins.
But understanding the difference is really going to add layers to your story. So if you're getting feedback from people and your story is interesting, but it's not quite there, maybe look to see, do you have all three of these: conflict, suspense, and tension? So we're going to tell you at the base level, what are they? And then we're also going to talk about what they're not. So conflict is anything that prevents your characters from achieving their goals. So you know what your characters are trying to do in the book, and anything that gets in their way is conflict. Suspense is at its heart delayed gratification. It is literally suspending the story, putting your characters into suspense as they wait for the resolution or whatever outcome that they're waiting for. And then Peg, what's the part of this?
Tension, tension is the emotional response to something in the story. Very often, it's the emotional response to the suspense or the emotional response to the conflict.
Again, very base level. We got 5 minutes to explain this. So we can't go much deeper than that. But one thing that all three of these have in common is they are not inherently bad. They are not inherently negative. You can have a conflict that is actually a good thing. So suppose you have, Peg always refers back to historicals. I always refer back to romance novels. If you have two characters and they finally admitted their love for each other and they want to make it work, but the guy gets this awesome promotion that moves him to another state. That's conflict. It's a great job opportunity. It's a promotion. It's something good, but now it's a conflict. And then Peg, you were talking about suspense.
Yes.
Not
I write
always bad.
historical, right? So I don't write suspense novels, so I don't need suspense, right? Wrong.
Wrong.
Wrong. Suspense is part of life. Suspense, drawing things out, is what keeps the reader deep in the story, right? It's what keeps them guessing. It keeps them turning the pages. You've got to have that suspense. You've got to delay the reader knowing everything that goes on. If you put everything that's going to happen in the front chapter of the book, there is no reason for the person to read any farther.
And
So
again,
suspense is
look,
drawing that out.
looking back at the romance novel, suspense could be they almost kiss and someone interrupts it. So now you have to wait another chapter or two for that first kiss. That's suspense. That's not, suspense doesn't mean you have to throw a crime into the book. It's just drawing that out. So I was looking at Peg behind there, Cobalt Skies. And, her character is moving across the country. He keeps getting sidetracked. He gets sick. And, he's all these people he wants to be alone, and all these people keep joining him. He is still on his track across the country, but things keep delaying him, or the people just keep joining him, and it's getting in the way, and it's drawing out that resolution that he's looking for. And then tension. Is all tension bad tension?
Not necessarily, no.
What
There's
would be
good
an example of
tension.
good tension?
Good tension. What if you're going into a job interview and you really, really want that job interview and you have really, really prepared for it and you're excited for it? That's still tension. Even though it's good tension, it's something you want to be doing, it's something it's still tension, right? So it doesn't have to be a negative form of tension. We tend to think that way because it seems like there's more negative tensions.
Yeah.
But don't be afraid to use positive as well as negative, because you're going to have more than one tension in your story, or you're not going to have much of a story.
And we are getting so good at this because we have 15 seconds left. So the last thing I want to say, just because this kind of made me giggle, it's a memory from many years ago on one of the writer's loops. Um, Someone kept getting feedback from his writing partners that his story needed more conflict, more conflict, more conflict, but they weren't explaining what conflict meant to him. And he went on and said, I don't like my story anymore because everybody's arguing all the time. Well, yes, arguing is a form of conflict, but like as we mentioned, that is not the only thing that is conflict. You can have a lot of different things that get in your character's way. So just keep that in mind. And we'll be back next week. Until then, I'm Karen Beery with Right Now Editing.
And I'm Peg Thomas, so we'll see you next time.